The Philadelphia Eagles make their debut in Vegas, but will it be much of the same? Let's talk about it coming up next.
The following announcement has been paid for by
the ENN Podcast.
He has a good energy, you guys.
Can you believe it? Can
Sports.
you feel it? Can you feel that excitement? The merchandise, wearing the hats.
Chris Wild here live from Lincoln Financial.
And I'm telling you, if you let Eli Manning walk into that stadium,
Music.
Wow.
Man, again, and I hate to do this again, but these are goosebumps.
Whoa!
And more.
what's his next book going to be called? Spineless?
Like,
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the ENN Podcast. I'm professional wrestler Chris Wild, live from bar 4133, and we're just hours away from the Philadelphia Eagles making their debut in Sin City as they face the now Las Vegas Raiders. I'm going to make this video as short and simple as I can because I just don't know what to think of this game. Now, this year, when the Philadelphia Eagles face really good teams, they look really bad. Last week against Tampa Bay, and I was there. Shout out to Nicole, the 4th and John tailgate crew, absolutely awesome. I mean, they are one of the reasons to go to a game when you're having a season like this. But the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Tom Brady absolutely outclassed the Eagles for pretty much most of the game. Now, it was only a 6-point game at the end. That was the biggest 6-point game I've ever dealt with. It felt like it was a 26-point differential in points as the Eagles decided to come to life in the fourth quarter like they did against Carolina the week before. This time, you're facing Tom Brady and the world champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You're not going to run out with a victory. And it's funny I use that term run because you would think coming into this mini bye that the Eagles had that after seeing how putrid the offense was and the fact that they will not run the ball, you would think that Nick Sirianni might change his offense up and start actually running the ball. When I'm talking about running the ball, I'm not talking about an RPO. I'm not talking about a screen pass. I'm talking about old school, helmet on a helmet, hand off, and let's run the ball. You've got Miles Sanders, who's averaging 9 carries a game, which is insane to me. Let him do his thing against a Raiders rush defense that is not good. If there's any time to run the ball, it is this time. And when we talk about the Raiders, let's talk about the Raiders. The biggest story to come from the Raiders this year is not their record. It's not quarterback Derek Carr. It's the fact that they had to fire their head coach, John Gruden, after some emails were discovered that just showed what a scumbag John Gruden is. What a just narcissistic, self-centered, classless human being. For some of the things that he wrote in those emails, it's absolutely offensive, and to be honest with you, he should have no part in any kind of sports and coaching people after just reading those. Google it if you want to. I will not discuss it here. But they came out. They had their interim head coach last week against the Denver Broncos, and they absolutely whooped the shit out of the Broncos all game. Absolutely, it was a 10-point game, but again, it was not that close. They looked really, really good. Now, a good stat for Eagle fans, if you're optimistic of an Eagles win, is interim head coaches, I believe, are 3-0 their first game, and after that, they lose the next week. So that's an optimistic stat for the Eagles, and it's a shame that's all I have to go on because, again, I just don't know what Eagle team I'm going to see. Is Nick Sirianni going to change it up and actually have an NFL-style offense and not this college, high school, hairy offense that we've seen? Is Jalen Hurts going to play a good game and actually hit receivers where they're supposed to get hit with the ball, right at the numbers, not having receivers have to run back to the ball or overthrowing receivers? You know, Nick Sirianni said his staff was going to let these guys do what they do best. Throwing the football is not something that Jalen Hurts does best. Running around, making plays, rolling out, absolutely. These RPOs are horrible. You don't want Jalen Hurts. And I'm not bashing Jalen, first off, but you don't want him to just have another thing. Now he's got to decide if he needs to give it to Miles or not. The RPO, and especially when most of the time, 90% of the time, he takes it anyway. It's not fooling anybody. Now, is this Raiders team, they're 4-2. Are they a great 4-2 team? I don't think so, but I don't think they're horrible. So, as I said in the beginning, the Eagles, when they play bad teams, they look better. When they play horrible or really good teams, they look bad. I think the Raiders are kind of right in the middle right now. And if any time for the Eagles to get a win on the road, it's right now. Head coach Nick Sirianni has got to show why he is the head coach of this team. And if Jalen Hurts wants to continue to be the quarterback of this team, he's got to start doing some stuff and got to start making some plays. I'm interested to see what Dallas Goedert does in the game now that there is no Zach Ertz. And again, the run game just has to show up today with Lane Johnson returning on that offensive line. This is now the 9th different formation of an offensive line that the Eagles have to deal with this year, which is insane. It's a big number. Last year was 15, and it might have been bigger than that, but it's bad. So I will give Jalen and Nick a little bit of leeway having to deal with that, but this is the game to do it, guys. Come out. You had your little bye. You got Detroit next week. Let's get two in a row, and really just watch this team grow. As far as the defense is concerned, you got to deal with Derek Carr, Henry Ruggs, who is a deep threat and a big play threat. Now, the Eagles' defense, one of the good things that they've done, they've been able to make sure teams don't get off big plays against them. No, they'll let them drive down the field 98 yards, but they're not getting that big play, so that's one thing that they can take away from the Raiders. And as I speak to you, I'm not sure if their best offensive weapon's even going to play today, as it was discovered that Darren Waller, tight end for the Raiders, maybe one of the best tight ends in the game, suffered an ankle foot issue Friday at practice, and they're going to discover during warm-ups if he's going to play. Now, when you watch this, you'll know. But if he doesn't go, that's just another advantage that the Eagles have coming defensively. Again, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to be optimistic and say that the Eagles get a win today. I say they narrowly get a win. I'm thinking it's going to be a field goal game. I'm looking at 27-24. I think the defense makes a big stop in the end. Slay has been great this year. Stevie Nelson has been good. Avonte Maddox, I think, has really held his own this year in that secondary. And the Raiders have a bad offensive line, which, I say this every time I speak, the Eagles' defensive line should take advantage. Javon Hargrave might be and I'm going to look, hot take, right? Eagles fan. I think he might be the best defensive tackle in the game right now, or at least he's playing the best. He looks like an absolute monster. So they should be able to get some pressure on Derek Carr, make him make some mistakes. And I think the Eagles win. I said 27-24. Let's get it done in Vegas and look forward to Detroit next week. Now's the time to get some wins. The Eagles had a brutal beginning of their schedule. I mean, the home games, Kansas City, which doesn't look like a great team right now, but then Kansas City, Tampa Bay, San Francisco. I mean, they've just had a brutal start of the season. So now's the time to get the wins, guys. I said it was going to be short and sweet. It ends up being long and winded. With that being said, everybody stay safe, stay healthy, go Birds, and I'll see you later.
E-A-G-L-E-S Eagles! E-A-G-L-E-S Eagles! I need Eagle Nation to stand.